Hey everybody, this is man from Brooklyn. I'm back. I'm bringing up that topic of that shooting in Atlanta with the Orientals. You know, we still haven't figured out was this racial motivated or sexual motivated. But that remind me of my history of the Japanese. I had to pull some of this up, because every race has been discriminated against at one time or another. That including the Irish, the blacks, everybody has suffered some discrimination. But in this situation, I wouldn't say it's bad to the point where it reminded me of 1944 through, I had to pull it up from 1942 to 1945, when they had I call them concentration camps for Japanese doing Pearl Harbor, but it was called the Japanese Internment camp back then. It was nothing but a jail to me. Remember, I always say, do your history. For those who need to go back, you go to YouTube and pull up the videos of 1944 and how they, uh, I could say, a form of incarceration or put them in the camps, because during that time, we did not know who was doing the bombing, or spies, what you should say, United States giving them information to bomb Pearl Harbor. People wouldn't panic and start putting these folks in camps. But now you have the big change. Back then, you had less Oriental Americans than what you have today. We would have more bilingual and different races now, but we got a lot of Americans that's Oriental. And that remind me when people run around beating up these Chinese folks because they blaming disease on them. And remember what I said before, one bad person make it bad for everybody. A lot of the Orientals don't have nothing to do with this disease. Whatever they get over there and did over there, they did over there, and we all got it. We all suffer. Just like when we make mistakes here in the United States, we have to suffer other people problems that consist of crime or whatever. Like the stigma with blacks. People automatically think in some white communities we going to rob them. Three times, how you word that? Think we're going to rob them? I think it's funny because in a certain degree, because 90% of the time we're not even thinking about the white folks when we go to the neighborhood. We usually go there to do our business or even purchase homes. But to me, I remember when I was young, I had former presidents living up in Brooklyn in New York, but it never got to that point where somebody wanted to badger me and beat me up based on my race, because I probably been in law enforcement and military all my life, and I usually know never not to put myself in that situation. But sometimes you could be at the wrong place at the wrong time, and it's going to happen. Back to the Orientals, yes, I will be concerned if my loved ones get hurt, because it seems like the young folks are attacking the older Orientals and blaming them for what their country did if they didn't release that chemical. This, like I say, all you other races, go back and see what the Japanese went through doing Pearl Harbor, and this is kind of a little bit of that. I haven't got to the point of that. We're not putting the Japanese, the Chinese people in the camps or nothing like that. But they suffering persecution of what maybe one of the countries the Japanese may have released, or maybe it came from, like they come with the stigma, Korea. We still trying to figure out who released that. We may never find out. I may be dead by the time we find out. So we need this is a very concerned issue about the Orientals, where it's going to go. The law state, you don't bully nobody. La 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 la. Is it hate crimes? Some of it probably is hate crimes. Going to develop and even get worse. They should be incarcerated like anybody else, because we got laws for that here in the United States, and that's the way it goes. But remember, I always say, read your history about every race that when they're being persecuted, and go back. And the Japanese had it. They suffered. A lot of them suffered during World War II in 1942, going to 1945, because what their country did to us by bombing Pearl Harbor. And then we got the atom bomb on them. People don't understand we got two atom bombs on them. And we killed over 100,000 people. That country still may be bitter about that. We having a problem with China now, and parts of the Middle East even with that. So we have to be aware of that. This is the strong message. Remember, treat people the way you want to be treated. Stop judging people based on what somebody did in their country. I'm gonna leave that thought. This is the man from Brooklyn. on YouTube. Please don't forget to subscribe. If you'd like to send me an email, you can send me an email at aclarkbanks@aol.com, and have a blessed day.